morning. Good morning. My name is Abigail Bottome, and I'm a member of the Worship and Music Committee. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. If you're a visitor or new to the congregation, please check out with our greeters or almost anyone else if you have questions about the building or anything you'd like to know about us. I want to, before I forget, Sandi and Reverend Art apologize because the date is wrong. Date's wrong, and they didn't want to reprint, do a whole reprint and waste paper. So I think that was a good decision. The first part of our service is recorded. Following the benediction, the recording will end. Then we will go into our candles section, which is not recorded. The service will be posted on our Facebook page and YouTube. And then after the service, if you wish to gather with people, we'll be gathering up on the hill for coffee and sweets, right? We are again passing the basket, collecting your offerings, but I also want to remind you that First Parish also accepts online offerings, and you can learn more about that at our website. Welcome to our service at First Parish Plymouth. Our service today is led by our minister, Reverend Lavoie. The sermon is Love Beyond Belief. Our technical director is Will McKinney. So I want to welcome Will, and I'm going to welcome his mom, Jean McKinney, and his cute little dog. Today's live music will be performed by Sandi, Hammond, and Reverend Art. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever you believe, wherever you are on your journey, let us walk together this hour.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Reverend Arthur Lavoie. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And I want to offer a special welcome to anyone watching us online, either on our YouTube channel, on Facebook, or there are several local public access TV stations that broadcast our service. So I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you for being part of the First Parish Plymouth community this morning. You can check out our website at www.firstparishplymouthuu.org for any information or how to contact me or our church administrator, Jean, who happens to be with us this morning, and we can get back to you if you have any questions. Thank you so much for being with us, everyone.
Our call to worship this morning is The Stairway of Existence by Hafiz, the Gift, and it's translated by Daniel Ladinsky. The religious mystics of every tradition. Oh wait, sorry. Go to the top of the page. We are not in pursuit of formalities or fake religious laws. For through the stairway of existence, we have come to God's door. We are people who need to love, because love is the soul's life. Love is simply creation's greatest joy. Through the stairway of existence, oh, through the stairway of existence, how peace, have you now come? Have we all now come to the beloved's door?
Please rise as willing and able and join in singing our opening hymn. Come the font of every blessing. The words are in your order of service, and if you're going to sing, we ask you to wear a mask. please join me in the chalice lighting words in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, to speak the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
Good morning. My name is Keller-Wood, and I am the Director of Spiritual Enrichment here. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. So, when we just sang a song, it talked about the lion and the lamb living together in your house. What would that be like? Is that like a brother and sister living together in a house? Today, I want to talk to you about an elephant and a dog. Now, elephants and dogs don't get along because the elephant is big, the dog is small. The dog wants to be bigger so the elephant doesn't scare him or hurt him. So the dog will bark and bark and bark and bark. Elephants don't like barky, yappy things running around their feet. So the elephant will go after the dog. Therefore, they're not friends. Probably wouldn't live in a house well together. Except, there's a story, an old Buddhist story about an elephant and a dog. One day, a prince decided that an elephant was going to be his special elephant. The elephant he would ride through town, the elephant that would be involved in processions, and the elephant that would bring him good luck. This elephant was fed delicious food, high quality rice. This elephant had a soft stall. It got exercise when I wanted, and this elephant was cherished by all. Well, there was a stray dog that lived nearby that had all his bones showing. He had no food. He had no one to take care of him. He got no exercise. He started smelling all the delicious grain and rice and food that the elephant got. And he would quietly sneak over. He would stick his head into the stall to see if the elephant noticed. And if the elephant didn't pay attention, he would crawl around the back and eat the leftovers that the elephant had dropped onto the hay. Well, this went on for days and weeks. And the elephant got used to the dog kind of scurrying around and under because it didn't bark. The dog got used to the elephant because the elephant didn't charge at him. The dog got healthier and healthier and healthier and closer and closer and closer. The elephant loved the company. The elephant looked forward to the dog coming to eat the grain. The elephant started to move over a little bit so the dog could have the grain. And they became friends. They became best friends. The dog lived in the stall with the elephant. And they spent their days together. Until one day, a merchant came in to the barn and into the stall and saw this beautiful, handsome, strong dog. And the man who tended the elephants said to the merchant, "I will sell you this dog." The merchant was ecstatic. The person who worked in the barn didn't own the dog. He had no right to sell the dog. But he just thought he could make some money. So the dog was put in a crate and taken far away. But nobody knew where the dog was taken. The merchant was not someone who was around there. Well, the elephant waited for the dog the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And each day the elephant
and sadder and sadder, and then stopped eating and stopped drinking. And no one could figure out why the elephant was losing weight and wasn't happy and wasn't walking around and just kept his head down. Well, the word got to the prince, who then sent for the physician and said, "Find out what's wrong with my elephant. He's sick." The physician went to the elephant and looked all around. The elephant was fine. The elephant's food was fine. But the physician said, "I've seen this before. This is a depressed animal. This animal has lost something. Something is wrong in his heart." So he went back to the prince and he told the prince this. And the prince was thinking, what in the world could an elephant be missing? He's got the same food, the same stall, the same attention. Why is he so sad? So he called people from the barn and they said, "We don't know." And then one little worker said, "There was a dog that was always with that elephant, and the dog's not there anymore." Now the prince was mad. Who knew where the dog was? Why wasn't the dog there? Nobody had any answers except that it was with a merchant, and no one knew where the merchant was. So after another week of thinking, the prince had an idea. He sent the message out. Anyone who had a dog that used to live at the palace would be taxed. All of a sudden, the dog reappeared. All of a sudden, the elephant started eating and was happy. All of a sudden, everything was put back to center because the elephant and the dog had their friends back. Now imagine when we look at people and we say, "They're not like us, we can't be friends. Oh, I don't understand what you're doing. I'm going to go this way." What if instead we waited, we took little steps forward, and we allowed ourselves to learn about that person? That could be a new best friend. Might not be, but it could be. That could be a person who belongs at your side that you never knew you needed. Or you could do that for someone else. So today, think about the lion and the lamb, the elephant and the dog, and see if something new can enter your life. And it really does belong there. And now I'm going to take the children on a journey of learning and discovery.
This little light of mine, I will let it shine. This little light of mine, I will let it shine. This little light of mine, I will let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. Let it shine.
Our reading this morning is Vessels of Divine Love for Each Other by Laura Orton Ludwig. The religious mystics of every tradition tell us union is what we are here for. Union is what we are. We are connected to each other, to the earth, to everything that exists, and to the force that lies beyond it all. Only most of the time we don't realize it. Union is not a myth or a pipe dream, the mystics say. It is our true nature. Buddhists speak of interbeing, the connectedness of all that is. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition gives us the beautiful language of the interconnected web of all existence, of which we are a part. Most of the time we feel separate, but connected is what we are, to others, to the whole of creation, to the energies moving in all things. The mystics tell us human beings simply can't handle fully experiencing our connection to the holy. They tell us we are not just loved at every moment, but we are connected at every moment to the holy, to creative mystery, to energy. Call it what you will. This is not about believing in God or not. It's about the energy that moves through the entire universe in ways that are beyond our understanding. It's about that energy that moves through the entire universe and breathes through us at every moment. And one of the best words we have to describe that energy, which can never be fully explained or understood, is love. The mystics tell us this love, this energy, is always with us. But it's so powerful that we cannot handle being fully aware of it all the time. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. And yet we can receive it filtered through another person. So we can become vessels of divine love for each other, not just with our hearts, but with these bodies. That's why our sexuality is so profoundly connected to our spiritual life. It helps us to feel our longing for connection and love and union. And if only for a moment, to know the reality that connection and love and union are what we are, not just what we long for.
Holding your breath is safer than breathing. When letting go is braver than keeping. When innocent words turn to lies, and you can't hide by closing your eyes.
When pain is all that they offer, like a kiss from the lips of a martyr, you know the famine so well that never met the feast, when home is the belly of the beast. The ocean is wild and over your head,
And the boat beneath you is sinking. Don't need room for your bags. Hope is all that you have.
so say the Lord's Prayer twice, hold your babies tight, surely someone will reach out a hand.
And show you a safe place to live.
Oh, imagine your flames being told to stand still.
The window's wide open, this sleep is on faith. You don't know who will catch you, maybe somebody will. The ocean is warm over your head, and the boat beneath you is sinking. Don't need room for your bags. Hope is all that you have. So say the Lord's Prayer twice. Hold your babies tight. Surely someone will reach out a hand and show you a safe place to land. Be the light of the hopeful stranger, a little scared but you're strong enough. Be the light in the dark of this danger till the sun comes up. Be the hand of a hopeful stranger, a little scared but you're strong enough. Be the light in the dark of this danger till the sun comes up. Be the hand of a hopeful stranger, a little scared but you're strong enough. Be the light of the darkest danger till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun We have all come to the beloved's door this morning, to quote Hafiz, the 14th century Persian poet and mystic and author of Our Call to Worship. We have all come to the beloved's door because we need to love. For love is the soul's life and creation's greatest joy. The human need for connection, for belonging, is deep and profound. The religious writer John O'Donohue says that the word belonging holds together the two fundamental aspects of life, being and longing. Being and longing. Our existence, our very being, is intimately tied to our longing for deeper and deeper connection and communion with others and with the source of life, the great mystery that some call God. That connection and communion, when found, gives meaning to our lives. This is a wonderful and sometimes frightening world that we live in. Life itself can fill us with awe and also make us feel a little bit confused and lost. Yet we wouldn't give it up for anything. And through it all, we long for a place where we can feel at home, where we feel the warmth and acceptance and compassion. We often feel disconnected, though. We easily lose our sense of belonging and connection to the holy and to each other. We even feel disconnected from ourselves at times. Laura Horton Ludwig reminds us in our reading that divine love and energy this love beyond belief, is always with us. But it's so powerful that we cannot handle being fully aware of it all the time. We live in a culture that raises up our faults and failings, a culture filled with divisiveness, prejudice, and every ism imaginable. We're so much better at putting each other down than raising each other up. Love of self and love of others is hard to come by. To accept the open-hearted love of this divine energy that enfolds us, we have to learn to love with that same open-hearted love. This is perhaps the most difficult thing we are called to do. In the poem To Have Without Holding, Marge Piercy writes, "It hurts to love wide open, stretching the muscles that feel as if they are made of wet plaster, then of blunt knives, then of sharp knives. It hurts," she writes, "to thwart the reflexes of grab and clutch, to love and let go, again and again." Grab and clutch. That's what we want to do much of the time, but that's not the love we are called to. And that certainly isn't the love that we long for. Several years ago, the Reverend Bill Singford was president of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. And he wrote about a gathering where he called together 12 ministers of some of our most rapidly growing churches. And he asked them to explore how our churches grow. The first question that the consultant asked was, what is the saving message of your congregation? Saving message. That's not a question we usually ask ourselves in UU churches, is it? As Unitarian Universalists, we don't feel ourselves in the business of saving people or of saving souls. It's not how we identify our theology. Yet when people walk through these doors with their longing and their hope for deeper understanding and connection, when people walk through these beloved doors, carrying all of their life experience and wanting more, don't we, in fact, offer a message and a community that saves, that helps find answers, that helps all of us feel like we belong somewhere? Don't we offer a message that better prepares all of us to face whatever challenges and joys life has to offer? There is a longing that brought many of you here. I know that was the case with me when I first attended the Unitarian Society of Northampton and Florence, Massachusetts in January of 1992, just after both of my grandfathers died. The answers that I found there, the love and support of that congregation, challenged me to face issues in my life and to accept the call to ministry. There was a sense of community and spiritual depth there, and I also see it here. It's what keeps you coming back. What is the saving message that you give and receive here? What is the message that gives you the strength and courage to be real, to move forward toward your own healing and wholeness, and to face the realities of your lives with joy and thanksgiving? So let's hear what those 12 religious leaders said when asked what the saving message was of their growing congregations. In the Reverend Bill Singford's words, it was fascinating to listen as, in various theological languages and in just 2 or 3 sentences, they all said the same thing. What they said one after another was this: the saving message of my congregation is that we nurture the human spirit, we encourage and help people to be in contact with the holy in their lives, and we help heal the world. We nurture the human spirit, we help people touch the holy, and we bring a mission of healing to a broken world. Bill Singford tells us that this saving message shifts our focus away from some kind of theological or dogmatic center of belief to a deeper understanding of what we and our congregation are called to do. And I want to remind us all this morning of how exceptional that is. The focus, the center of what saves us in Unitarian Universalism is not based on dogma and creed, we all know that, but on what you do for each other and how you interact differently with each other and with the larger world. You create in this congregation and in other UU churches a safe and a sacred space where you nurture each other in the spiritual quest to find your whole selves. You don't have to leave things at the door. You don't have to suspend disbelief. You aren't asked to believe things that fly in the face of science, reason, and your own life experience. There is a relevance here, a buzz, and an energy that shows that this place is alive and dealing with real people and real issues. Let's face it, there is much in life that is deadening, that saps our energy and threatens our happiness. You come here wondering, perhaps, is this my tribe? Are these my people? Yes, and yes can be the answer for all who wish to feel the spirit of life and love. Yes, and yes, for all who are looking for spiritual sustenance to get through daily life. Yes, and yes, for all who wish to use their gifts to make a difference in the world. It is here that you find the strength to hold the grief and pain and joy of others. It is this place that fulfills your longing to live out the transcendent, the sacred in your lives and in the world. And it's not all as serious as it may sound. This is also the place filled with fun and playfulness, what I would even call divine play. There is a holy presence that we create every time we are together. That holy presence is with us when we explore together our differences and stand with each other in this sacred quest. And let's not forget the children, for here is the place where we nurture children to realize their own dreams and not impose ours upon them. Here is the place where many adults know and care for children who are not their own, as we attempt to put into practice the village that is needed to raise all of our children. We are now entering the High Holy Days, the most sacred time in the Jewish calendar, beginning today with Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and ending next weekend with Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. It is a time of great celebration, but also a time of reflection, repentance, and renewal. A time to examine the last year and make amends and begin anew. My friend Rob Hardees is the former minister at All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church in Washington, D.C. Rob was part of that gathering mentioned earlier of ministers who had experienced significant growth in their congregations. Rob told a wonderful story at that conference about the time he did a child dedication that was all in Spanish. The child dedication is the UU counterpart to a baptism or christening, in which the child is named and blessed and given the love and support of the gathered community. In that ceremony, in addition to a blessing of the child and words of welcome and commitment from the whole congregation, there is a piece where the minister asks the parents, grandparents, godparents questions about their commitment to the child. Most often, everyone answers the questions with some affirmative response like, "Yes, I will," or "Yes, we do." On that particular Sunday morning, when he turned to the grandmother and asked if she promised to love and care for and nurture this child, she responded by clutching her arms over her chest and saying, "Con toda mi vida," with all of my life. Con toda mi vida. With all of my life, with all of your lives. That's the spirit that is embodied in this church community. That is your saving message. This is the place where you can bring all of your lives, and have been doing so for over 400 years. This is the place where you enter through the beloved's door because you need to love, and to feel that love, which is the soul's life. You come with your longing and your brokenness and your joy, and you give each other back your lives, all of your lives. May it always be so. Amen. And blessed be. I invite you to join us in singing Life Calls Us On. It is one of the newer hymns that we've introduced a few times. The words are in your order of service.
Are you and I singing
Yes.
the first verse for people to hear?
There are pick it up as they go along. We've done it before. So this week we celebrate one of the great anniversaries of the founding of Universalism on September 30th. And so our benediction today is a quote from one of our 19th century Universalist theologians, Hosea Ballou, who wrote a kind of definitive book on universalism in 1805 called A Treatise on Atonement. There is nothing in heaven above, nor in the earth beneath, that can do away with sin but love. And we have reason to be eternally thankful that love is stronger than death, that many waters quench it, nor the floods drown it, that it hath power to remove the moral maladies of humankind, and to make us free from the law of sin and death, to reconcile us to God, and to wash us pure in the life of the everlasting covenant. O love, thou great physician of souls, what a work hast thou undertaken.